Hey there, welcome to Old Man Runner. In today's video, I'm going to look at how to get audible heart rate data when running. First, I'm going to look at a few different types of equipment to measure your heart rate. Then I'm going to look at a few different solutions whereby you can listen to your heart rate. And finally, I'm going to recommend one. I'm making this video because Antonello in Australia asked me about running in the bush. It's dangerous when running in the bush perhaps to look down, and he wanted to have an audible heart rate and wondered whether the Coros Pace 2 would give him an audible alert. And the answer was too complicated to put into the comments, so I decided to make this video. So in this video, I'm going to look at a few different solutions using your ears, your wrists, and your chest. I spent some time trying to figure out how to structure this video, and I decided to go in alphabetical order, where A is for the Apple Watch, B is for the Bose SoundSport PulseWireless headphones, C is for the Coros Pace 2, jumping swiftly to G, the Garmin Forerunner 955 and HRM Pro chest strap, and also along the way looking at the iPhone and some apps.
Activity started. Someone's been training hard.
As always, there'll be chapter markers down below so you can skip through to the bits that you might be interested in. Disclaimer time, I haven't run in the Australian bush. I have hiked and hitchhiked around the Olgas in central Australia, so I have some experience, and that was well before there were smartwatches or smartphones, and when I was quite happy to take risks like hitchhiking out to the Olgas and walking on my own for the day, none of which I'd probably do now. I learned 3 relevant things. 1, don't take chances in the outback or in the bush. 2, modern equipment is complex and has a lot of nuances and needs a lot of testing. 3, I'm not infallible. So, you may have a better solution than I'm going to propose, and if you do, pop it into the comments. So why not just look at your watch and get the heart rate there? Well, as Antonello said, if you're running in the bush, you want to keep an eye on your footing, or as I was watching Killian Jornet running the other night along a ridge, and it's certain death if you miss your footing. There's others, you could be running in cold weather, your arms could be covered, and you might want your heart rate data and not have to expose your wrists. I was running the other day and I had the phone in my pocket testing for this video, and it was extremely useful because I was running up a long hill out of Bellevue by Lake Zurich up to the Flunturn Cemetery where James Joyce is buried. It was about 5 kilometers uphill, and I just wanted to keep an eye on the elevation on my watch to see when the pain would end, and it was actually really useful to have the heart rate data going off. I hadn't set the phone particularly loudly, and so in central Zurich it was hard to hear, but as I got out it was actually really perfect. So there's lots of reasons why you might not just want to look at your watch and still get your heart rate data. Typically I run with 5 devices: a Stride footpod connected to the Apple Watch, a Garmin Forerunner connected to a heart rate monitor, a chest strap, and then I also run with the iPhone. So I run with about 5, but if I only wanted to run with one, it would be this, the Apple Watch. It has a built-in speaker and I can set a device. Typically I would run with Map My Run, and then it will give audible alerts. You can set them for different times or distances. I think you can do it in quarter-kilometer breakdowns, and you can do it in 1-minute intervals or both. But it'll only give you the current heart rate. But again, there's lots of different apps and they will give you different things. But again, you can use one single device, the Apple Watch. For many years I used the Bose SoundSport PulseWireless. It measures your heartbeat based on a sensor in your left earbud. That's seen to be more accurate than your wrist, not perhaps as accurate as your chest monitor. They're discontinued at the moment, but they're still available on Amazon, and Philips, Jabra and Amazfit also do variations. It would continue to say to me to adjust the left earbud, which was sometimes annoying, but they do work and they work well. And again, you can use them through an app on your phone, Map My Run, Runkeeper, etc. This is the Coros Pace 2 that Antonello was asking about. It doesn't have a speaker in it, but you can broadcast your heart rate through in the settings. Very handy if you're in the gym and want to get the heart rate onto Peloton or something like that. Not so handy in the bush. I couldn't get it to connect to headphones, but it will connect to the iPhone, and I played it through Runkeeper. I'll play a bit of it at the end. Runkeeper is much more customizable than Map My Run. You can have average heart rate, you can have current heart rate and heart rate zone, as well as a couple of other regular things like pace and distance, and you can customize the voice. I think it plays my inner conscience, which sounds nothing like my inner conscience, but I'll play a bit here.
Activity started. You're running like a bear who just woke up from hibernation. Time 2 minutes. Distance 0.14 kilometers. Average heart rate 90 beats per minute. Current heart rate 99 beats per minute. You run like a gazelle across the fields of Africa.
This solution works at Coros Pace 2 and an iPhone. Presumably it'll work with Android as well, and one of the regular apps. I've been testing the Garmin Forerunner 955 for months, and from what I can understand from the Garmin website, the solution proposed here also works with the Garmin Forerunner 255 and 255 Music, both of which are substantially cheaper. You can connect them to headphones or an iPhone via Bluetooth, which I've done, and the great thing about the Garmin is it has a Connect app that has so much in it. I'll show again some B-roll as I try and figure it out. But you can set abnormal heart rate, you can set alert types. The abnormal heart rate, you can also set a high level and a low level, so you get alerts. And in the general run of things, you can specify to do either heart rate zone, percentage of your maximum heart rate, or your percentage heart rate reserve. Now, you can't do all four at the same time, but I actually found out by testing it that really once you know your heart rate and your heart rate zones, you'd know your percentage maximum, etc. So really handy, very customizable. The Garmin Forerunner 955 will measure your heart rate at your wrist, but it's generally felt that your heart rate is more accurately measured in your ear or on your chest. In fact, Coros say in their details that if you're a data geek, where would you find one of them when you needed one? If you're a data geek or you're into heart rate training, then they recommend a chest or arm sensor, and they actually recommend devices by Polar, Wahoo, or Garmin, who make the HRM Pro, which I've been using. I found it very easy. When I first got it, I didn't think I'd use it very often. I now use it every single time unless I forget it. But yeah, I like the accurate data that comes from the HRM Pro. Let's have a look at some recommendations. If you only want to run with a single device, the Apple Watch is really your best bet. It's not the cheapest. It is really lousy in the rain for trying to stop it. Once it gets damp, the touchscreen doesn't work. It's pouring rain outside now. Yesterday I went out, it was mildly damp and I still couldn't get it to work. Now, as it happens, as I make this video, I'm making it Tuesday, it'll go out on a Thursday. In the meantime, Apple are going to launch their new Apple Super Running Watch, which will probably have a dedicated button. As it happens, I always run with an iPhone just for additional security. But if you only want one device, the Apple Watch is probably it. If you want to run hands-free and listen to music, then a heart rate monitor in your ear is a good idea, and the Bose SoundSport PulseWireless would work or equivalent. But if it was me not wanting to listen to music, I would just run with the Garmin HRM Pro and connect it to the iPhone. The cheapest solution here is probably the Coros Pace 2 connected to a phone, in my case the iPhone, but it'll connect to Android. And my preferred app that I would run with would be Runkeeper, lots of funny voices and stuff to give you muse as you're running through the Australian bush. So yeah, it works. The Coros Pace 2 will work once you bring a phone, and yeah, Runkeeper. So what is my preferred solution? Well, it's by Garmin. The Garmin Connect app is really good. You can use it on the phone. It's very easy to customize a number of things. You can change the language from English to English American to English Australian and lots of other languages that are not English. You can you can set alerts for high heart rate and low heart rate, which is incredibly useful. And you can also change the type of heart rate data that you can listen to and have it with all the other kinds of data and set the frequency at which you hear it. So for me, the Garmin is a super solution. And actually, it's really useful, or I have found it to be very useful, to be able to just listen to your heart rate as you go along. So thanks, Antonello, for asking that question that I spent quite a bit of time and gone down a number of rabbit holes, all of which I enjoyed immensely in trying to figure out some sort of solutions. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you did, it'd be great if you'd hit the like button. As always, there'll be lots of stuff down in the description below. Oh, no, here she goes again.
2 hours, 36 minutes, 7 seconds per kilometer. Split pace, 45 minutes, 24 seconds per kilometer. Heart rate, 69 beats per minute.
Okay, I'm recording at home. I'm not really going anywhere, but 45 minutes per kilometer. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you did, it'd be great if you hit the like button. As always, there'll be lots of stuff down in the description below, and I'll happily answer any questions you put into the comments. There'll be a big blue subscribe button popping up there, and some related videos there. Thanks for watching. Until the next video, just keep running along.
All right, kid, pull your pants up, tie your shoes. Activity started. After this run, you and me, kid, will go out and grab a couple beers.